What's up, guys? It's your boy DJ Mixmaster Chaos. On this pre-recorded It's Just Our Opinion podcast, broadcasting live on the open road of New Mexico, on my way to California. As everybody always know, I always go out to my home state. Yep, always showing love, taking loads from the east to the west coast. And, that's how I make my money, And as you probably can see, I'm sitting in traffic. There's a bag up. It must be an accident or something. That happens from time to time, every now and again. Somebody be out here running up and down the highway like a jackass, lose control of their vehicle, fuck up the whole thing on the highway, and it causes us to have this type of situation. And this is always a bad situation like this when it comes down where it's in the middle of nowhere. So it's going to be a while for fire and state troopers and paramedics or whatever got to, to come there. So I don't know how long I'm going to be sitting here. Hopefully I won't be sitting here as long as I'm doing this pre-recorded podcast. But the topic of this podcast today is celebrating life and not death. Why do I say celebrate life and not death? Well, I come to a conclusion to where I see more of us always paying tribute to the people who we lost. Yeah, because inside us we have this real soft emotional feeling because we lose somebody that we truly love. And I understand that because I have taken losses throughout my life. People that I was really close to, people that I knew real good, people that I dealt with on a daily basis that are not here anymore. And a lot of times we want to celebrate the fact that they have lost their lives, and we want to pay tribute and things of that nature, which I thought was pretty good at one particular time, because it made me feel good that we paid tribute to our loved ones that we lost. But I come to a conclusion right now to where we need to stop doing that. Because to me, I really found out that we really don't supposed to be doing nothing like that. And the reason why I say that is because quiet is kept. They're gone. They're not coming back. And for us to continue to contribute to them while they're gone, it basically weakens your soul. And I explain why I say weakens your soul. It weakens your soul because you're thinking about the fact they're gone, and that becomes an emotional thing. And when it becomes an emotional thing, it starts to make you emotional drained and weak. A lot of times we find ourselves crying and basically helpless from the loss of life that we have basically endured in our lives. And it becomes a problem because most of the time you might have family folks that'll say, I might not be here today or tomorrow, but I want you to always remember me in good spirits. And a lot of times we can't do that because when we try to remember them in good spirits, it's always a bad situation, because you're thinking about them dead, being deceased. Excuse me. You're thinking about them being deceased. So it's more of a weak specimen that's going on in your life, because you're not thinking about the strong within your heart that you need to live and move on. And I know it's hard, because it's, you know, when I lost my mother in 1995, it was a very hard pill to swallow. And the reason why it was a hard pill to swallow was because my mother, I was a mama's boy. I'm just gonna say straight out, I was a mama's boy. And my mother was very petitions and very, guarding of me, because I was the baby of the family at the time. So with that being said, everything that I'd done, my mother knew about it. Even when I flew back and forth from Los Angeles, from Mississippi to Southern California, Los Angeles, and back, she wanted to know what I was doing, why I was doing, where I was doing, and how I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And I know when I flew out to LA in '94, for the first time since we had left California, she had asked my sister where I was at, what I was doing, and my sister felt agitated and irritated, because she was like, "Mama just constantly calling, want to know what you doing, and this and that and other. She ain't never called that much for me." And I'm like, well, I guess because Mama was just used to me being with her, being right up under her and not being gone away from her like that. And it pretty much kind of bothered her, And that was just a real mother's intuition, to be more careful of her young. That's what any female living human being on this planet, any living female creature on this planet, is always going to be a sacrifice, to where she's going to be right there with her young. You see it with animals. Like if you fuck around there and a mockingbird gets pregnant, and she flies and she sees somewhere, and she's looking around, and she's trying to figure out where she want to lay her nest at to lay her eggs, because she knows there's a new life coming in, and she's trying to prepare for this new life to come in, because it's a celebration. And she basically start, gathering up little leaves or branches or whatever to make this nest. So when she get ready to make the nest, she get ready to sit down on that nest and get ready to give birth to some small baby mockingbirds. It's a celebration. And she's going to be over them, feeding them and looking over them. And anything that's trying to come near her nest, like human beings, other birds, or whatever the case may be, she's going to be very aggressive, and she's going to be very overprotective of her young, because she don't want nothing to happen to them. And that's all a part of loving life, and loving the life that you basically brought into this on this planet. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think I see more people celebrating death than they do life. And that's a hurting situation altogether, because you're supposed to celebrate life than death. When death occurs, that's it. We don't even supposed to even indulge in death. But we have been programmed to think that that's what we're supposed to do. That's what Christianity, that's what the cross is about. You know, you think you wearing a cross because you represent Jesus and Jesus your personal Lord and Savior. But here's the thing, you shouldn't even want to represent the dead, because the dead is the weak. And when you represent the weak, it makes you weaker to not do the things that you need to get done with your life. Only thing you're supposed to be doing is basically making a nice little rest haven for the deaf and moving on. You can't sit there and constantly keep on living on a conscious level thinking that, you know, you're supposed to always just constantly endure yourself off into the complex of somebody's death, because there's no more life in them anymore. They're gone. They're not coming back. And you have to accept that. You know, it's just like I tell me and my cousin about my auntie, God rest her dead. My auntie have already said, like, you know, hey, if something was to happen to her, she don't want us to stop on a dime, you know, because she's not here anymore. And a lot of times that'd be kind of hard, but in a way, it's not really hard, because, yeah, true enough, you love them, but if you love them even more, you'll go on with your life, because that's what they would want you to do. They wouldn't want you to stop living because and be all weak and messed up in the head because they're not around anymore. They're gonna expect you to keep on living on, because if it was happening to you, they're gonna keep on living on. Some people will find themselves worrying themselves half to damn death and losing their lives. You know, it's like, you know, my mom passed, I don't know what to do with myself. Or my husband passed, I don't know what to do with myself. Or my wife passed, I don't know what to do with myself. Or my dad passed, I don't know what to do with myself. And, you know, because you basically was going through life depending on them instead of depending on yourself, and y'all depend on each other. See, once you depend on yourself and know who yourself is, you ain't got to worry about the death of a loved one that you really love endure your whole life, because quite frankly, you're going to know how to move on. You're going to say, shit, well, my mom gone. She's already laid down the fort for me, because, quite frankly, she taught me how to eat. She bathed me when I was a baby. She basically taught me how to talk. She did this and that and another third, all the way up till I got to be a grown man or woman. She taught me how to pay bills, how to cook, clean, and take care of my responsibility as an adult. So now she's about to transition on, and I gotta let her go, or I gotta let him go, or whatever the case may be. You know, your father, your mom, your auntie, your uncles, your cousins, niece, nephews, brothers, sisters, you know, godparents, you know. I mean, because one thing about life is for the living. Death is not for the living. That's why they call it death, because once this thing that's called the heart stops beating in your chest, that's it. Life is done. And that's the reason why most people have to learn how to stop giving death all the power in the world, and learn how to give it what it is. Let it go. Because if you don't let it go, then it's going to make you become a weak specimen of yourself. Because you have people out here, they feel like, I just can't go on because my mother is gone. Or I just can't go on because my dad is gone. Or I can't just go on because auntie or whoever is gone. You shouldn't even want to think like that. But if you're not used to, if you're used to people waiting on you head and foot on everything, then yeah, you're going to have that mindset. Because a lot of times I see people like, well, my mom and my dad did this for me, and I don't know what to do. Because sometimes our parents, they don't really actually know when their time is up. They know they're sick. They know that chances are they pretty much gonna get away from here. They're gonna pass or whatever, but they just don't know the time, the day, or whatever. And a lot of times they leave and they don't prepare their young to what life is going to be like when they're not here anymore. I almost was one of those guys, because when my mother died in 1995, I was 19. I was just getting into my late teen years. I was pretty much considerably grown, 2 years from being 21. And my mom basically put in my head, as well as my father, about being responsible and taking care of things like a grown person's supposed to. I got all of that, but I still needed some more guidance on top of that I really didn't understand at the time. But after my mom passed, I felt like this feel-good vibing situation that I had within my heart was snatched out of my heart. Because my mother was dead. My mother was deceased, and I knew that when she was gone, she wasn't coming back. When I went to Delta Regional Medical Center in Greenville, Mississippi, November 5th, 1995, around 2-3 a.m. Sunday morning, and went to in her ICU room at the hospital and see that she was asleep, like she was asleep. I knew right there and then she was gone. And it hurt me like hell. Because I know, because this never happened to me. I never thought this was going to ever get to that point. But I knew my mama was very sick. But according to her, that Friday evening when I talked to her, she said everything was fine. And that she would be home Tuesday. Because she had to go grocery shopping for us and all this other stuff. But all that changed Sunday morning. And one thing about it, it took me 2.5 years to basically get my head right in the notion that my mother was gone. I cried on many occasions since then. But here I am, 45 years old, about to be 46. 4 more years, I'll be 50 years old. I don't have that mindset anymore to be hurt about my mother being passed. My mother been dead 25 years, something like that. So it's like, life goes on. You know, even though I usually get on Facebook around her birthday, I'll be like, happy birthday, Mom, God rest her dead, you know. And that's just kind of like a little contribute. But it's nothing to for me to be just really down and out on my ass, like, I'm losing sight of me living on this planet. Because a lot of times we find ourselves losing sight when we lose a loved one. And like I said again, I understand, because it be somebody that we truly love and care about that's taken away from us. But you have to understand, we're not promised to be here always, and we have to accept it regardless if we like it or not, because that's how life is. You know, it's just like that little nursery rhyme song, roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. Life is but a dream. You're only here for so long, and then you go. But while you're here, you're supposed to be celebrating life. You're supposed to be out here doing what you want to do, making moves for yourself, not worrying about what other people think or what other people got going on, thinking about what you need to have going on. But a lot of us lose sight of that because a lot of us don't want to accept the fact that, again, our loved ones are gone. Because I was one of them. And it get that way. Especially when you lose your mother, the person that brought you into this world. You think hard and heavy about it. And even if you probably had an argument with your mother, or you and your mother really didn't see eye to eye all that good, but you had to realize that this woman had love and care about you. She brought you in the fucking world. Other than that, she could have avoided you, but she didn't. And a lot of times, we have to, like I said, we have to realize the whole concept of celebrating life on this planet. And the thing about it is, we have to learn how to accept death, because that's just the way life is. You're here today, and back in the day, you say you're here today, you're gone tomorrow. Nowadays, it's more like you're here today and gone today, because anything's subject to happen. No matter how perfect you think you're living your life, no matter how much money you got in the bank, no matter how many women, cars, clothes, and houses, and all that shit you got, it doesn't matter, because once you go in the transition, that's it. You know? And I used to, but you know, to go to another story of this situation, that cross, that Christian cross, I've always used to wonder what that cross really meant. And I found out what that cross really meant. And most of y'all probably don't know what that cross really meant. A lot of y'all, some people think that cross means that, you know, it's just a remembrance of Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying, dying for your sins. To each his own if you believe that. But in the real world of reality, that's a sign of death. That sign, that symbol of a cross shouldn't give you no type of energy, because it's basically death. That's the reason why Christ was hung up on it. It was supposed to be hung up on the cross, because it represents death. It didn't represent life. If you go back and study your history, like I have, when our ancestors was basically fully running shit in this world, in Africa and Egypt, in ancient times, they had this symbol called an Ankh, or whatever you want to call it. It's basically, it looks just like a cross, but it have a hole in it. The holes signifies as the woman's ovary, which basically where life begins. That was the symbol that we supposed to be really worshiping, because we supposed to be overjoyed and happy to be on planet Earth. But when you close that ovary and it becomes a cross, a straight line, that means the ovary is closed. No life coming up out of there. It's death. So why would you want to celebrate something that's not living than to celebrate somebody that's living? You know, you're supposed to be able to go and say, hey, how y'all doing? Checking on your people, checking on your friends, checking on your family. Have some kind of solidarity for life. But we don't think like that because we've been taught to think that us celebrating the death of Jesus Christ gonna give us a better salvation of life for ourselves. No, it makes you weak. And it sure makes black people weak because we celebrate it more than anybody. We always asking, kind of waiting on the comeback of Jesus Christ. And you don't even realize that the Jesus Christ that you're looking for is within you. It's you. You are the Jesus you're looking for. Yeah, I said it. You are the Jesus that you're looking for. But since you came to this world, to this part of the world, the Western world, which is ran, owned, and operated by white supremacy, they made you see outside yourself instead of inside yourself. That's why a lot of y'all are so insecure and so mind damaged and really don't know who the fuck you are as a human being, and basically doubting your own kind, your own people, talking bad about the black man, and the black man talking bad about the black woman. These two items are what brings in new life. A man and a woman. The same sex don't bring in life. But they got y'all jumping all over same sex, the LGBTQ and all this stuff. And like I say, no disrespect. Well, I'm not going to say no disrespect because they don't respect us. Because if you don't want to go along with this shit, you shouldn't be able to have to go along with this shit that they try to push out here on the masses. Because once upon a time, this was seen that you had a mental problem when you wanted to be with the same sex. They knew something was fucking wrong with your ass. They had it in books back in the day when I was coming up. Now they didn't destroy the shit and basically thinking that it's something wrong with you for not going along with it. But you tell you something. Think about what I said about the death situation. That shit right there is a part of the death cycle. It ain't a part of the life cycle because you can't bring in life with the same sex. You following me? See, it's more about death than it is about life. Have you noticed these rappers, these young rappers, they're sitting up here promoting their little trip hop, because I don't call it hip hop, it's trip hop, trap music, drill music. You know why they make that music? It's because it glorifies death. It glorifies death. They always talking about shooting each other or doing stupid ass shit. They ain't talking about let us get together and celebrate life and bring up businesses. That way our kids can have something. You ain't never heard them say nothing about shit like that. They used to when I was coming up, though. They used to when I was coming up. It was called conscious rap. You had your Public Enemies, X-Clans, King Son, Queen Latifah before she's crossed over, Airbnb and Rakim, Brand Nubian, Poor Righteous Teachers, BDP, KRS-One. I mean, the list goes on and on. You know? And they were rapping about life. Yes, they were rapping about life. They was rapping about who you're supposed to be, who you are as a person, who you are as a human being. Now, not at all. You rapping about sucker shit. You're dressing with tight ass clothes, with your pants hanging halfway off your ass. You don't even know what the fuck that means. But some of y'all pretty much know what it means and don't give a fuck. That's death. When you got your pants hanging down with your asshole showing, your ass crack showing for another man to see, that's death. With your pants pulled up and you walking like a man's supposed to and acting like a man's supposed to and cares about his fellow brother and sister, that's life. See, a lot of this shit that goes on in society is based off of death. That's the reason why it's easy for them to promote the hokey pokey to you and tell you to go get the jab. That's death. Because if you knew your life, if you knew your history and you knew who you was as a human being, you'd go from the earth to get whatever you need to basically cure your illness. And they know it. Shout out to my man Chucky, who posted the situation on Facebook back here. They basically took down because it helped. Because see, they don't want you to help yourself. They want to help you. That's death. See, they know if you help yourself, that's life. And that's the thing we need to get up out of. We need to get up out of the death cycle. Or we gonna fuck around and ain't gonna be here. But they're trying hard. And one thing I can say about black people, we done been through it all in this world. We done been through it all. We're so holy and so original on this earth that everything the white man put at us and bring at us on some racial shit, we always seems to beat it. And we're the most, excuse me, we're the most spiritual reality people on this fucking earth, and they know it. And that's why they get paranoid and scared when they see us get together and worship and fellowship with each other on a positive level. That scares the hell out of them. See, when they came out with the counterintelligence program up under J. Edgar Hoover in the late 1950s with the FBI, his slogan was to find the new black messiah. He didn't say the new white messiah, he said the black messiah. Why did he say that? Because that Caucasian man knows you better than you know yourself. He knows that you're a God. He knows that you're a king or a queen. He knows that. He knows that you know how to raise your kids the right way and know how to make things happen. But right now he's trying to make you destroy all that to go off of his narrative of what is right and what's wrong. See, grandma and grandpa back in the days wasn't the same age. dating each other. Grandma and Grandpa was maybe 15, 20 years older than Grandma. And the reason why Grandpa was older than Grandma, because Grandpa wanted to be able to have good, healthy kids by a young lady that y'all basically talk shit about R. Kelly for doing. He was doing. But at the same time, he taught her how to love and cherish herself as well as her kids. Take care of home. While I go out and work, all you gotta do is cook and clean. You ain't gotta do shit. Just stay at home. That's life. I go out and work and bust my ass because I love my family. I love my woman. I love my children. So he went out and worked at the steel mills, worked in the farm and all that shit, or whatever the case may be. Blood, sweat, and tears out there humping his ass off. Humping, by the way, shout out to my city folks on the West Coast or whatever. Humping in the South is basically putting your back into it, working. You know what I'm saying? He was working hard to provide for his family. And the woman, she would prepare his dinner, prepare the kids' dinner, had the house cleaned up, clothes washed and everything. All he had to do was just come home and eat. And basically be in the comfort of his own home. Wasn't no, I ain't got time to be cooking. I ain't got time. Shit, you never hear that. That's life. Now, rolling into 2022. You got young women talking about they don't need a man. They can do bad by themselves. But here you are, hustling, bustling, trying to work 2 fucking jobs to pay your goddamn bill. Your kids at home running all over the goddamn place. You got somebody watching them. They barely watching them because they got this goddamn cell phone in their face, so they don't know what the hell going on. That's death. We got life fucked up now. That's death. Because see, y'all tried to blend yourself with the women of yesterday. You could never be yesterday women. Because yesterday women know their place. That's life. Yesterday women know her place. She knew what it took to take care of home. She never said, I don't need no man. She needed a man to raise those 3 and 4 kids. She couldn't raise them by herself. Because there's only so much she can see what these kids are doing. Especially when they're young men. But if she got a man there in the house with her, she knows how to step back and let the man raise the boys while she take care of the girls. That's how it used to be. And one thing about it, shout out to my first lady, Lisa Pam. She had a mother and father. And the reason why me and her still together to this day is because when I first met her back in 2019, I looked her up and down. And I listened to her conversate. And I basically let her, and she heard me. And the things that I would tell her, she would go and research. Ain't too many females that I've dated ever did no shit like that. And I'm not dissing my exes or whatever the case may be, but I'm trying to show you something. That a lot of times we don't be understanding the whole complex on the life cycle versus the death cycle. because grandma and grandpa back in the days understood each other. And that's the reason why they was able to live long and healthier lives back in those days compared to how we live our lives today, is because they had each other's back. See, they didn't have no choice but to have each other's back, because guess what? It was segregated back then. You had the Jim Crow era going on, whites only, colors only. So they had to look out for each other. Because the white man sure the hell wasn't going to look out for you. Now, Dr. King and spiced it up, talking about let us all integrate and we all be together and you know, and brotherhood and all that old goof ass shit. And the white folks started realizing that y'all really need Mr. Charlie. And so we start integrating with the white people. And we start acting just as ignorant as the white people used to act. Now they're starting to act like we used to act. See, that's death. That's death. Because you basically going backwards in life instead of going forward. For you to say that you don't need a man basically specifies to the Most High that you don't give a damn about life. Fuck life. You would rather worship death. So when you say you don't need a man, and you got young men in your house, they don't know how to be a man. They only know how to be you in man form. Start doing sucker shit out here in these streets because there's a girl they trying to talk to. They can't get with her because she don't want him, because she don't think he's man enough. So he gets out here and trying to embarrass her by hitting her in the face or jumping on her or whatever the case may be, because he acting like a bitch. He acting just like he was raised. Bitch made, bitch raised. That's death. You get out here and listen to all this bullshit ass rap music they put out here, it all going into playing that like the way the system of white supremacy wanted to go, because they listen to this bullshit ass music and it tells you how to I'm getting my words right. Let me do it. Let me say it slow. Outdo yourself within yourself. You basically seeing outside of yourself instead of seeing inside of yourself. That's why a lot of young men are basically careless to even have the notion of thinking about living life to live to be a grandfather. They don't think like that no more. They like, fuck that. Whatever happened, happened. Fuck it, I don't care. That's why they go out here and do all the little stupid shit, because there ain't nobody guiding them in man form. They guided by women form. So you gonna have a man acting like a woman. And a lot of times y'all be talking about some ain't no good men out here. It's because y'all basically raising the motherfuckers to be just like you. So you have to be a part of this bullshit narrative that you try to put off on black men. You're a part of it too. Because you laid your ass down and opened your funky ass up to this man that you say ain't about shit that you don't like no more because he didn't dance to the music you willing to play. You a part of this shit too. He fucked up, you fucked up. And y'all brought in a fucked up child who basically fucked up the world. Or fucking up the country. Who can you blame? Can't blame him. You gotta blame yourself too. But that's all a part of the death cycle. That's the reason why on this podcast is why I talk about we celebrate death more than we celebrate life. And that's a part of the death cycle right there, what I just said. When anytime you feel like you don't need a man to help you, back you up in a situation like that, that means you basically worshiping death. You're not worshiping life. You care less about life. That's just the way it is. Take it or let it alone. I know when I get ready to post this podcast on YouTube and Facebook, people's gonna be people probably gonna feel some type of way about this, and it's fine. But I didn't lie. I bet I didn't lie because it's a true fact. I've lived both of those lives, and I've seen the difference between how women treat men then compared to how women treat men now. And I looked up and got a good one. Yeah, I got female friends too. She know it. But the female friends that I have, and y'all know who y'all are, much love and respect. They are women, and they know their place as a woman. And they not going along with this LGBT same-sex shit. They're not going along with all this bullshit that's going on in the world today because they got sense enough, because they grew up in the same era I grew up in, and they know it's bullshit. That's the reason why a lot of times, First Lady, we talk about stuff like this all the time, and she laugh about it because she just say it's just fucked up that people cannot understand and get it. And it's all, and we got fucking internet. We got all the information you ever want to have out here. You can find out anything you want to find out. People are like, well, how do I find out certain things? I mean, how do I get this? How do I get that? Look, all you gotta do is just ask questions, or you can go on YouTube and just type up Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Dr. Khalil Muhammad, Dr. Sharad Ali, the Crimson Cure woman, Kevin Samuels. Even though a lot of y'all don't like to watch Kevin Samuels, because Kevin Samuels basically tell you all about yourself and y'all get all in your feelings or whatever the case may be. And that's another thing about most women. Y'all don't like no man to tell you nothing, because, especially a black man, because y'all already been condemned and to do so, because you feel like you want to be more aggressive and be more manly and more masculine than a man is. That's why you women go out and fight men, get all in their face and punch on them and throw shit and all this old stuff. And then you wonder why nobody want to have nothing to do with your crazy ass. It's because you ain't got sense enough to pull piss out of a fucking boot to realize who you are. That's death. See, when the women back in the day, y'all probably say, oh, they was dumb as a motherfucker because they let men jump on them. Y'all been watching Color Purple too goddamn much. That movie there is a damage control to black women all across the board. That movie Color Purple, and I used to actually like that movie back in the day. But when I really started watching it and I started hearing little feedback and realized why that movie was made, that movie was made to basically make black men look like we wasn't shit. Because everybody in the goddamn movie was basically portrayed it wasn't worth a damn. Except Lawrence Fishburne character, and he wasn't on there but 10 seconds. But everybody else was a bunch of no-dos, a bunch of dumbasses. Mr. was portrayed as a motherfucking wife beater. He didn't care. He was a whore and all. Everything that they wanted to basically portray black men to be is what they put in that movie to basically show you black women that we don't give a fuck about you like that, which was a lie. Because any sensitive person that knew and lived back in those days will tell you black men didn't have that much time and energy to act that way like they portrayed in that movie, because that movie was around even in that time. That was Jim Crow. That was whites only, colors only, and that was the South too, the Georgia. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Black men wasn't that fucked up. I mean, if they was, it's because they was probably what they consider a Sambo or something, working for the white man. He had that type of mindset or whatever. But other than that, majority of the black men was not like that. And if you did have black men that got in black women's ass on certain levels, it's because black women didn't listen. They were hard-headed. Some black women didn't listen, and they just had to let them know, I love you, but I'll put my foot in your ass if you don't do what needs to be done. And that wasn't being mean. That was just being to the point where you need to control and know your role in the home. Y'all don't like that. Y'all say, that's crazy. I would never let a man put his hand on me. But you put your hands on the man. And a lot of times you put your hands on the man because of something you didn't see on Facebook. A female that said something to your boyfriend in his inbox. You automatically jumping all over the curb over him, putting your hands on him. And we so fucked up, we think it's cute and funny when a woman beat on a man. But when a man whoop on a woman's ass, oh, that ain't funny now. Oh, you should hit on her. She's fragile. A woman's hurt. A woman's hidden situation is 10 times worse than a man. And she's so emotional, fucked up. She can really kill a motherfucker by doing the shit that she do. Because she gonna constantly keep on hitting at her. But y'all don't think like that because it's cute and cuddly to see a female jump on a man. It ain't cute and cuddly. It ain't cute and cuddly for a man to jump on a woman either. But at the same damn time, you can't mix apples with oranges. But we so fucked up and we so dumbed down and dumbfounded that we sit up here and let motherfuckers basically tell us how to live our lives. And that's all a part of the death cycle. Nothing to deal with life on that. Because if a woman really knew her place in the home, she would know her place in the home to know that she needed a man to be there with her, for her and her children. You wouldn't have to work as hard either. Think about that. You wouldn't have to go out and get 2 jobs. You won't get 2 jobs because you're trying to outdo your fellow female friend and your baby daddy or whoever the fuck, who probably ain't got but 1 job and probably don't have no job. You know, you thinking being independent is the shit. You know, they had a song Lil Webby called Independent. He's spelling the song out. I-N-D, all that old shit. I ain't got time to spell that bullshit, but you know what I'm saying? You motherfuckers, he basically helping y'all submit to the bullshit, being independent. She got her own house. I mean, what do you say? She got her own house. She got her own car. 3 jobs. She's a bad broad. No, you are a broad who's basically being physically drained. That's why a lot of y'all be having so much anger. Y'all work at these restaurants and stuff. Motherfucker coming there like me. I'm like, hey, how you doing? May I help you? Got a fucking attitude. I haven't done shit to you. All I done is spoke to you. You got a fucking attitude. You know why you got an attitude? Because you ain't got no man at home. You don't know how to even indulge in loving and keeping a man. So you think, hey, by me jumping and snapping out on motherfucker, that's gonna make you feel better. No, it's gonna make you like a damn fool and lose your goddamn job. And see, niggas like me, I ignore your ass because I already know, I'm just like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I don't do nothing but smile at you and ignore you because I know you don't know no damn better. But Caucasian people, that's a different ball game. But I already know you fucked up. You fucked up for a reason. It's because you basically grew up, was raised in this world by a person that was just like you, that basically shitted on men. And I know a whole bunch of y'all females that's like that. I know a whole bunch of them. And the thing about it is, you need to get your ass off that cycle. Get your ass out of that cycle before it's too late. Because by the time you get about 50, 60 years old, you're going to find yourself all alone. Just by you being independent. She had your own house. You got your own car. 3 jobs. You was a bad bra. Yeah, okay, whatever. But when you get about 60 years old, you're going to be all alone. Straight all alone. For real. Your kids ain't going to even have nothing to do with your ass. Because they going to find out the real truth that you was an ain't shit bitch the whole fucking time. And that's going to hurt them. That they ain't even want to be around you no more. You'll tell me about it. You'll thank me later for all this, what I'm saying on this video. Then again, you might not tell me. You might go to the grave with the fact that you knew that chances are what I said, it was the truth. But it's all good. But like I say, you throw that boomerang of karma it's going to come back and hit you in your ass. Plain and simple as that. Remember that. But anyway, all I'm just saying, my beautiful black women, my beautiful black men, my beautiful black people all over the earth, you know, we got a lot of soul searching. Stop worshiping death and learn how to worship life. Learn how to realize that you are the kings and queens of this planet. You ain't got to be a king and queen to have every damn thing. Your king and queen having everything is in your mind, knowing who you are. That's the most precious jewel on the planet, knowing who the fuck you are, knowing your place in society. That's what it's all about. But if your ass sitting around here not knowing who the fuck you are, you get what you get. Plain and simple. So don't be sitting up there telling black people, sitting out there telling yourself that you don't need no man, because you do need a man. It was destined for you to have a man. It was very destined for you to have a man. It was very well destined for you to have a man. And black men, same thing about you guys. Stop saying you don't need no broad. Because you need her too. We need each other. Because our kids are out here running like the gremlins. They running wild. And the reason why they running wild, because they ain't got no backbone. And the biggest backbone they need is the man. The woman can only do so much. We got to step up to the plate and do our thing, do our part as well. But anyway, much love and respect to you guys. First Lady, love you as always. Shout out to all my peeps, you know, they've been showing me love on my podcast. Dark Prince, you know what I'm saying? Judah, Treese, Keisha, you know, I name a few of you guys, you know what I'm saying? Even to my Nation of Islam brother Albert Muhammad, you know what I'm saying, and the whole Nation of Islam, Fruit of Islam family. Much love and respect to you guys. This is your boy DJ Mixmaster Chaos. Y'all enjoy y'all Saturday and be safe, be easy. I'm on my way to Cali. Peace.